We've got a new adventure game here coming up after the success of things like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. This is Crystal of Atlan, a rated T for teen game by Skystone Games, PTE Ltd. Now they call this a Magicpunk MMO action RPG, but how does it hold up? Let's get some first impressions for you. You start your adventure off in a town called LumiVille. You're tasked with trying to figure out an issue of what's called like the Decay, and it's basically like an infection that causes people or machines as well to no longer be able to work like for the good guys, right? They kind of get infected and they turn bad. Now, during the opening adventures, they take time to teach you a lot of the basics, so that way you can get a handle of how everything works. Now, you're going to be coming back to this area on and off, even after it seems like you finished up in LumiVille, because there are other quests that are going to send you back over here. And eventually you make your way to Rhine City, and that's like the first real big city of the game, and it's up in the sky. But we'll get to that in a bit. For now, let's go over what combat looks like. Now, combat is in real time. It's action just like, say, like Genshin Impact, for example. But because the kind of attacks that you have will be different depending on the character class, I can't show you everything, but I can show you what you have like with the Bounty Hunter, and that's what I have right now. And your main big button there is going to be your basic attack. So you're going to use that most of all, of course, just to like hit your enemies, just like you would in any other game. Now you've got two big things here. You've got your jump and you've got your sprint as well. You know, your dodge or sprint you're going to be using probably quite a bit because that's part of your strategy depending on your character class. So with like the Bounty Hunter, you know, I don't have like a whole lot of like raw defense. So I rely on things like strategy. So having to be able to dodge and sprint out of the way is kind of important for me. And that's going to be the same for probably the other ranged attacker that you've got. Now you can also jump, double jump, and then you can sprint in mid-air. Now I've got a lot of skills already that are set here that I can use. Now you won't have all of these slots unlocked like right at the get-go. So you have a couple, and then as time goes on, you get to unlock more. So different skills, of course, do different things. Some might be ranged, some might be more close up. Some might stun an enemy, it might send them in the air. It kind of just depends what it is. And some of them, they have like a selection that you can choose. I accidentally clicked it there, but I have one where I can basically choose a certain type of ammo that I can use for a couple of seconds. And then you have an ultimate, which they call a finisher in here. Now you can swap your skills out too, and you just do this by going into your little skill section here. Now they've made it pretty simple to use. If you take a look at your configuration here, you can see this is mine. You've got your skill sets here that you can swap in and out, but some of them they also have a first and second level. So with here you have this level 1 set, which is going to be right here. And then you have your level 2. So these ones here are connected to a second level. So once you start using your skill there first, then whichever one you have on level 2 will show up next. So that way it doesn't just convolute the whole screen. You're able to actually select a skill and then the next one will pop up for you to actually use too. So you get more skills available to you during combat than maybe you normally would in some other games. So I can take this one here and I can send it back to the way I had it here. Now some skills are active. Those are going to be pretty much like your combat ones, and then you have your passive ones at the same time. Now your skills of course are upgradable. I only have 8 skill points, so I can't upgrade that many things right now, but if I pick my Flame Burst right now, it takes 2 to level up and I've got 8 available. Right now I'm on level 9 of 25, so all you got to do is just click it and then you can upgrade it. Now you can also downgrade it as well and get your skill point back. And there is one thing in here that's a little strange. It doesn't work as good with a range attacker like I have, but that's this one right here, the charge BATK level 1. So this allows me to do like a slam attack when I'm jumping in the air, and it allows you to knock up your opponent if you hold it. Now with a range attacker, usually you're going to want to try and stay on them as much as possible, but when you actually have that enabled, what happens is you'll attack, and then it'll do that in the middle of it. Now there isn't really any way to like turn it on or off. You actually just have to basically downgrade that skill if you want to take that off. But it works great for like the close-up attackers, so anybody who's melee. So let's find some more enemies here so I can show you a little bit more combat. So when you jump in the air, you can also attack while you're in the air, and that actually will prevent you from falling down all of the way, so it slows your descent. Some stuff like this lets me to select a different type of ammo. So here's like electric ammo that I can use. All right, let me jump over to a little bit tougher area here. Now you have a little bit of a companion that you can use, and you get 2 of them from the start when you actually start getting your companion. And one of them is basically combat and the other one is a healer, and I'll show you those in a second. But right now I use my combat one, so he's on a cooldown, but I can call him my healer if I want to. She comes in, gives you a little bit of life back. Now your first major city you're going to get to is going to be Rhine City, and in every area of the map they have these teleporters, and it makes it a breeze to use these to get between places, but it's even easier when it comes to quests, but I'll show you that in a bit. Now if you pull up your map here in the top right, you can see access to all of the teleporters on the screen that I've actually visited. So once you get there, then they activate, those little blue guys there. And all you have to do is just basically click one, it'll ask if you want to go there, and then it just teleports you there. Now on your map, you can also drop a waypoint pretty much anywhere you want, and then you can just track it. And so then if you're just standing there, it'll just track it like it would a quest, and so you can see that little blue line there just telling me where it is that I put the waypoint on. Now back at the map again, on the left-hand side, you got your legend there, and that tells you all the stuff of basically importance. And you can also just click any of those, hit track, and the same thing will happen. It'll just give you that little blue line so you can track where it is that you need to go. Now the thing is too, if you're too far away from it, from any of the things that you're clicking on to track, it'll send you to the nearest teleporter if it's close enough by. If you're kind of close by to it already, it'll just like send the little blue thing and then you can just follow it. So if you want to go to like a specific teleporter, it's usually best just to click it on the map, because if you have an active quest as well and you go to a teleporter and you click it, it'll tell you, do you want to teleport to this one particular place that your quest currently is that you're tracking. Now you've also got a world map, so you can just pull that up and then click on a region and pick a spot that you've been to, and then you can just go to the main teleportation point for that area, for example. So if I go like to LumiVille here, I can click on that and say Adventures Lodge, and I'm up in Rhine City right now, but I can just go straight over to that point since I've already been there. So they make it really easy to teleport yourself through the world. Now item crafting is really important in this game. It's also the same as basically leveling up your gear to some degree. Now if you pull up your gear list, which is going to be down in the bottom center here, you're going to see this whole list here. So if I have, say, the breastplate, for example, I'm using the level 30 of the Elegant Etiquette breastplate, but if I want to have level 35 of it, I need to hit go to craft. And what it's going to do is it's going to point me to where I need to go to the crafting. If I was too far away, what it would actually do is teleport me to the nearest teleportation point there, and then I would track it from there to go into where I need to go, which is basically Glenn's workshop. But this is a guy that you're going to meet early on in the game too, and then he ends up here in Rhine City. So what you're going to do is you're just going to hit level up, and that's going to give me the level 35 version of this particular one. Now it tells me there's a confirmation on this one. After upgrading, the gear will inherit the enhancement level, calibration progress, insignias, inscriptions, and shared cooldown. Do you want to proceed? And it'll be bound after you upgrade it. Not every piece of gear is like that. On this one it is. Now pulling up that gear list again here, that's pretty much how it works with mostly everything, all the way up into level 60 epic gear. So you're going to have your whatever your is. It could be a glove, could be pant, could be shoe, and you're going to just upgrade it basically from the previous version. But there are special ones that you can get. You're going to have to basically collect what you need as time goes on in order to be able to do that. Some of them you're going to need these like special little pieces here in order to even craft them. These are the epic shards. That happens a little bit later on. I don't have that yet. Now you do have some gacha elements in this game. Summons work a little bit kind of like that, but they're also a bit different because you have your main characters that you use, so you're not really like summoning other characters as far as I can tell. Instead, you're going to use things like costumes and pets, but there's still a store like any other gacha game where you can spend your real world money, and there's a pass that you can get, that gives you additional perks for 15 or 30-day increments. There's redemption shops that you can use to redeem like various points and stuff that you collect depending on what those are. Now, I haven't unlocked everything, but you do have other things like co-op battles, ranked matches, and the challenge section, which has like several subsections of its own. A lot of these are still locked up for me, so I can't quite access them yet. And you've also got fleets. Fleets are basically the equivalent of a guild in other games, and I think they kind of used a different name because part of the story is the Adventure Guild, so if they just use the term guild all the time and then you had a guild that you joined, it probably would be super confusing. So they're called fleets in this game. I definitely want to put more time into this game before I give off some official initial review, but there's a lot of good elements here. Players who've delved into things like Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact will probably feel a little more at home in this game. It's not quite an open world, but more of a semi-open world adventure game with reasonable barriers. I like how the paid elements aren't all in your face either, it's just an option on the side. And they give you a lot of graphic settings. You can try and get this running smoothly on your device if you happen to have something a little bit lower end, but you do have to have something like a Snapdragon 845 at a minimum spec to run it. And the fast teleporting for quests might seem like too much hand-holding for some, but it does let you get things done without manually traveling all over the place and wasting a lot of time. And it lets things like casual gamers spend more time actually playing the game, so it seems like they're trying to achieve a balance here. Now, it's not the smallest install. Right now it's sitting at around 18 gigs, and I'm sure before it's a year old it's probably going to be like 30 gigs or more. Now that's a lot when it comes to a mobile game, and as they continue to add more content, it's just going to keep growing, so keep enough space clear if you want to play this for a while. Now I'm certainly enjoying it. I'll try to get more dedicated video regarding certain aspects and functions of this, especially the ones that are more confusing for some people, and maybe I'll do an update video later on as I get to unlock more things. But thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. There's always more videos coming. This has been Blue Screen of Tech, and I'll see you in the next game.